how to manage job loss. And this couldn't be more relevant because we are experiencing such immense pain and a lot of fear in this country right now. And so if you've been affected, I want to first say that I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you have had to experience this. It's not right and it's not your fault. It's just that we have people in power who, to me, are acting very inhumane, affecting so many lives. And so I want to first say I'm sorry that you are experiencing this, but I wanted to have this class because I want to make sure that regardless of everything that's happening, we can feel empowered that we are still in control of our own destiny. Because I know that sometimes when you lose something that is so dear to you and something that actually even provides so much stability, it's a big loss. And so I want you to still feel empowered that you can still control your own destiny. And I wanted to give you some practical tools that you can use in order to be able to move forward. One of the reasons why I knew for a fact that I had to have this class is because I have an amazing friend who lost her job. I asked her, could I share her story? And she told me yes, because I think this will be empowering to you if you've been experiencing this, or if somebody else has experienced this that you know and that you love and that you care about. And so what happened was she had taken a break and then she finally had gotten back to her desk. She checking her email. She saw the notice. It said notice of termination effective immediately. And that's when I say inhumane. You do not have to treat people who've given their time and service to our country this way. It could have been done another way, but it wasn't. She was like, it was so terrible. She lost her husband like a little over a year ago, and she just bought a house, and she just lost her job. And she's the sole provider for 4 children. Please tell me where that's right. It's not even a little bit. And I was so angry. But talking to her, the beautiful thing, because like I told you, my friend is one of the most beautiful, most strong, most positive people. And she was like, you know what, Kiki, this does hurt. And I'm going to grieve for the weekend. But after this, I'm going to get back on it and try to figure out what my next move is. And this leads me to my first couple of points that I want to share with you in terms of taking back your power if you've lost your job. First of all, I want you to grieve. You have to give yourself a beat, a moment to slow down, to stop, to feel the feelings. And it's okay to be angry, to be pissed off, to want to throw things. All those emotions are appropriate at this time. You have to give yourself a moment to feel the feels and to go through the emotions. You have to, because if you don't, and if you stuff it down, if you make it seem like you're, oh, I'm just a strong person, I can withstand anything, that's when things start to go awry. When we lose something that's dear to us, we have to mourn the loss of it. Just like if you lost a person, you can't just keep it moving. You have to mourn the loss of that person in order for you to get back what we consider potentially is normal for you. So you have to go through that grieving process. Part of that process you can write down. I think that's always helpful, which is to write down your feelings in terms of, an outward expression of what you're going through. Another way is to talk to people. I'm a talker. I like to talk out my feelings. My husband, he ain't talking out his feelings, but he'll be in his own mind and he's thinking about it and he's still going through his own process. We all process things completely different, and that's okay. So you got to understand how you process this stuff. It may be writing, it may be calling, it may be sitting in silence. Either way it happens, you got to do it. But here's the most important part. You need to give yourself a time frame to do this in. Sometimes when we grieve, we're paralyzed and we can't move forward. And I don't want that for you. And so what I'm asking you to do is really put a date on when you're going to pick up your strength and be able to move forward. And I think that that's important for us to do. So for her, she gave herself a weekend. Now, will she still be potentially grieving after the weekend? Yeah. Because it's not a turn on and turn off thing, y'all. Like, we can't work in absolutes when it comes to life, especially when it comes to feelings and emotions. But the thought process is, if you give yourself a time frame, then once that time frame is up, you've done all you need to do emotionally with expressing yourself and expressing your anger and going through this grief process. Then you can turn your eyes in terms of what you need to do next. And that's what I'm saying. So for you, the time frame may be different. It may be like, Kiki, I can't snap back that quick, right? The snap back, by the way, is called resilience. Resilience means your ability to snap back, bounce back after something traumatic has happened to you, or something hard or some kind of challenge has happened to you. And the goal is for you to bounce back better than you were before. So you might be like, Dr. Kiki, I'm not that resilient. I need a week. I need 2 weeks. I need a month. Okay. Because what I ultimately believe is that you are the expert on you, but I'm going to give you a little push and a little self-love like I do all my clients. I really want you to know you are stronger than what you think you are a lot of times. Now I get it. Listen, I understand that sometimes you don't want to be strong. I'm telling you, like sometimes I just want to cry, or I just want to sulk, or I just want to be, and that's okay. That's okay to do. But when I do that, I always give myself a time frame. Like sometimes I just need to go to sleep. And so if this is you, give yourself a little time, but also give yourself a time frame when you're going to transition into some kind of action. So for me, it's one sleep. For her, it was one weekend. For you, it may be 1 or 2 weeks. But let's get back on it. We don't want a lot of time to pass because, baby, we got to get back on it. We got to get a job. We got to figure out what's next. And my hope for you, especially if you lost your job with the federal government, is that they overturn that ruling. That's my hope. But guess what? You should not be sitting around waiting for that to happen, because by that time, you might have lost too much time and money. And we don't want that for you because you don't deserve that. So we're going to grieve. We're going to choose a time where we're going to get back on it. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to assess our strengths. I'm a positive psychologist. A positive psychologist means what goes right with you. I study what goes right with people and not just what goes wrong with us. I mean, you got everybody else to do that for you. Let me help you figure out what's right, which means what are your strengths? I'm sure you have a resume, so you can look at that. But I love assessments because I really think that they ask the right questions to help us get to the right answers that we need. And so 2 assessments that I love is the Clifton Strengths Finder. That's a paid assessment, but it's going to tell you your leadership strengths. And I think that's important to really know in this job market, because as you start to look for something different, you're going to need to know what those are. And then the VIA, which is called VIA. This one is free. So you can go on right after you get off this class with me, and you can take the VIA strengths assessment and find out what your character strength is. And when I say character strength, these are what some people potentially call soft skills, but these skills are the skills that actually take you to the top or make you fall. Because here's what I truly believe. What we have in this country is a human problem. You've probably seen stories of people who are so amazing at their leadership ability and, or their sport or their instrument or whatever, and they rise to the top. But the thing that keeps them there is because they have amazing character. The things that make them topple is because they have terrible character. So I want you to go on and I want you to figure out your strengths, because it's going to be super important for you to do that, because you need to be able to articulate what you're great at, because that's where you're going to find your next opportunity at. I'm hoping that you can get your job back. But if you can't, where you're going to find your next opportunity is in a place where your strengths lie. I talk about purpose. My whole goal is to help women find their God-given purpose so that they can just really thrive in life. And your purpose lies at a place where your strengths and your passions meet. So if you know what you're ultimately passionate about, in the same vein, you know what you're strong at, that's where you'll find your purpose in life. And if you're moving forward in life and you lost your job, here's a beautiful opportunity to step into your God-given purpose. That's a beautiful opportunity to do that. Speaking of that, this year I'm having a Thrive 25 Women's Conference right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I would love to walk through this process with you in person. It's an amazing time for you to be able to just not think about another job, right? We got to get another job. I get it. We got to get something else, but be intentional. So I want you to take an assessment, figure out your strengths. And then what I want you to do is, now that you understand what you're strong at, I need you to start doing a couple of things. One is getting online, looking for a new job. Start looking on LinkedIn, Monster, wherever it is that you do, and start applying for jobs. But I also want you to tailor your resume to that job. This is an important step. If you don't take the time to tailor your resume, then you are cutting your chances in more than half of actually getting that job. You can tailor your resume because now you really know your strengths and you know where your passion lies. And so more than likely, all of the jobs that you're going to apply for right now are going to be in that skill set, in your passion set. If you do not know how to do that, couple things. You may want to ask a friend or a colleague, somebody to look at your resume to help you tailor it. You can hire a coach, an executive or a career coach like myself to help you do that. And if you can't do any of those things, I'm going to tell you, go to AI. Something like Chat GPT or something like that can help you do that. It will do world of a difference. I need you to do this for all the jobs that you're going to apply for. And remember how many jobs we're applying for? A lot, because you cannot just stop at one. And if you get a rejection from one, that's just one job. Don't stop at just one. Like no, that's just one job. So I need you to apply and tailor your resume. The next thing that I need you to do is I need you to write a list of all your friends and family down, because guess what? The majority of them have jobs, and I need you to be resilient and vulnerable to go ask them for help. I know asking for help is hard. It used to be hard for me, but it's not hard for me anymore, because I see the value of it, and it really does make a world of a difference in your life. And so if it's you and you are out here trying to be superwoman and you don't want to ask somebody for help, I'm gonna say, sis, we gotta put that aside. And to be honest with you, people want to help, but most of the time we never ask, and so people can't help. I'm gonna give you a prime example of that. Me and my husband both teach for Life University, and this semester my husband took a class that was on campus, and he teaches on campus on Mondays and Wednesdays. My classes, although they're online, they're still synchronous, meaning we have live classes on Zoom on Wednesdays. Previously, my husband could go pick the kids up when I have class, but guess what? We both have class now at the same time. And so I now have to leave the house early to go get the kids, to get them back home, to help them with homework, to help them get fed, all the things before 5:30, before my class. And I'm in class from 5:30 to 8. And so then after that, the kids are fending for themselves. Guess what? They upstairs watching TV, making noise, doing all the things. It used to then not be that way, because of course, he was home and he could take care of the kids. So I was explaining to a friend how insane our Wednesdays are. Like, just insane. I was like, oh my God, Wednesday is, da, da, da. She said to me, you want me to go get the kids on Wednesday? I was in the whole straight complain mode, and she offered, but I could have asked her, because we don't be asking. So here's what I want you to do is I want you to ask everybody I need you to ask them to float your resume. I need you to ask them if they have any positions available at their place of employment. And I need you to ask them to let you know if there's anybody else who they know who's looking, because I can guarantee you there's somebody that they know that might be looking, but if you don't ask, and you won't know. My mama used to always say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So I need you to really ask people. Say, hey, this is a difficult time for me, but I absolutely have a request. Could you please float my resume to, your hiring manager? Do you know if your company is hiring? I am looking for this position. Here are my skill set. Here are my strengths. And you remember, you already looked those up, so you can tell a person that. That's what I need you to do. I need you to really get out there and really ask, because it is imperative that you begin to take these small action steps. And then the last thing I need you to do, I know this one may be hard, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I need you to truly maintain hope during these times and take care of yourself. I know, I get it. People ask me every day, how can you continue to do this work when you see so much hurt, pain? They mean the work of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and helping people and companies. And I said, the reason why I can still do this work is because I maintain that people, us, are inherently good, and our country is inherently good. Now, I know that sounds crazy right now. Even saying it sounds crazy. And let me tell you, I done wavered a little bit. I'm like, oh God, it's hard. It's real hard to maintain hope when you lose your job. And it's not your fault. I get it. And so I understand what I'm asking of you is a lot. But let me just pose this. The alternative is worse. Giving up, giving in to the fear, giving in to the hate, giving in to the inactivity is worse, because it'll have you in a worse situation than what you're in right now. So I'm going to ask you that during this time, you remain hopeful and really take care of yourself. Give yourself what you need in order to be okay. Give yourself the time, the energy to continue to grieve if you need to, but then to still move forward. Let me just tell you, you absolutely got this. And I know that some days might be harder than others, but you got this. And I truly believe that God didn't bring you this far to leave you here. So I'm asking you to maintain hope that something amazing is coming your way. Thank you so much for joining me for today's class. I hope something I said resonated with you. If you lost your job again, I am sorry that this happened to you, and I know that you're going to be able to bounce back. If it's somebody who you love, please, please, please share this video. And if you're on here, you're on my channel, please go ahead and click the button and subscribe to the channel, and also share this video, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help millions of women learn how to step into their God-given purpose and be successful in life. You all have the ability to go out there and create your own happiness. So go out there and do that.